me stop?
Series live. Hold on. Yeah.
Oh shit! You
Yeah.
want me to end? You want me to end?
No, we are. I think we might be good.
Okay.
Just All right. There we go. Here's a new updated disclaimer. There we go.
There we go. So I'm going to
Yay.
join your live, Tig.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to always work best for me, so I can keep an eye on chat. And can you see the chat, Nick? Probably not. Not on the stream side.
Nope. How do you guys do it?
Side.
You go over to the...
I have two computers. So one computer I've got this program, and then I can look over and see Nick G. You're in the chat, but you can't see it. Or you can use a phone.
Yeah, or I actually just have I have my desktop open with for streaming, so I have two tabs open, Twitch and Substack.
Okay, yeah. So you just bounce between tabs.
Yeah, or I'll just move it to my second monitor on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nixon chat. Yeah.
Yeah.
On my way there.
So yeah, we just kind of hang out for a little bit, wait for people to join. Woo, I'm excited. You ready, Grandma? Hey, bud. How you doing? Hi.
Hello.
He was our last guest.
Yeah, I recall watching.
Yeah. Or no, Sylvia was our last guest.
Sylvia was our last guest. Yeah. I had a quick repost actually.
That's right. You ready, Grandma? Was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Yep. It's a bit of a backup on my end, but I was able to repost it. Peachy. That can either be really, really good or really, really bad.
Right?
Grandma.
Right.
I had a friend who was like, he's like that kind of like we use like set up like we were trying to like set up code words that tell you whether you're doing really good or really bad without like flagging your therapist or something like that you're not in like peril. Like my thing is like I'm in a low spot, but I'm not in peril. That's how she knows. Right. My friend's thing was like, "How you doing?" I'm peachy. All right, that's good. So it's still a shitty situation, but you're not gonna kill anybody. Okay, that's good.
All right. All right. So you redid that and just added or checked the description for resources or the ticker. I don't know. You're gonna say it. So you ad lib.
Yeah.
Oh, right on, David. Legit happy for some reason. Well, it's good to be happy. You don't have to have a reason to be happy. Endorphins, yes.
Endorphins.
Our friend.
That's a good sign.
And I am an endorphin junkie.
Yeah.
I started.
Or is it dopamine?
Or no, it's endorphins because I have lots and lots of tattoos, and then I started tattooing myself. Oh. And so, I laid a bunch of Hope. I laid a bunch of ink down on my thigh, and it's an endorphin kicker for sure.
Yeah, I got some tattoos and stuff like that. You know, a lot of mine were more like my path.
Yeah.
You know, like as
mine all have meaning. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I am Hope. We're just waiting for people to show up. We have a couple in here other than ourselves, so we get a few more people, we'll carry on. Yeah, smash those hearts. Let's get some algorithms going.
Whole handful of them.
Yeah.
Whole handful. Oh my god. I'm also gonna just here we go. I'm also gonna restack the crap out of this. There we go.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes, I was gonna do that. I'm looking for it.
So how are you doing today, Hope? We've all just kind of discussed our weekend and how we're closing it out. This is what we do to close out our weekends.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. I have
What?
like the most amazing update.
Yeah.
The app that I use for like my digital business card, I don't use Linktree. I use it instead of this other application called Blink. They just rebranded the crap out of themselves, and
Uh-huh.
now they offer a direct CRM integration. So I can actually like every time I share it, it will automatically link directly into like my whole like tracking database that I set
Oh
up and
hell yeah,
everything.
that's awesome.
I love it. I love it with like software, like different like
Hey
tech
Kimmy.
companies like that are like they move towards like actually making things more convenient. I love nice updates like this. Oh, the subscription gift fairy is here. Hi, Kimmy.
There is here. Hey Hope. So always look forward, never straight. Okay, forward's the only way.
Yeah, that's the whole premise of the movie Meet the Robinsons, right? Keep moving forward, Lewis.
You keep
Yeah.
forward. Yeah, that's the key of it. And forward doesn't always look like in a straight line, you know. Sometimes
No.
forward is up, down, all
Yeah.
around.
As
but
long as
yeah,
you're moving forward, you're in on the right track. All right. So we have, let's see, we have Grandma Hope, Kimmy. I think we could wait for a few more. Kimmy says, Nick, it's good to see you.
Oh, that is great. Hello.
Also, this is a very exciting topic of mine.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this one.
So yeah, this is gonna be great. And so I was telling Sylvia before y'all showed up that a dear friend of mine, a new neighbor, is a professional chef. So I've been getting some really good food.
Ooh, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I was hoping she would.
They like to show
be
off
here.
too. You know, when they're cooking their things, they like to show off their skills.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I went down a hyperfixation rabbit hole a few years ago that took me down like that basically reformatted my biochemistry hyperfixation into cooking, because this is something something really interesting I figured out. Humans are the only intelligent creature on this planet, past, present, or future, that we know of that have transformed a biological necessity into a form of cultural expression. We turn food into cuisine. No other animal, no matter how intelligent on Earth, has figured out a way to do that just yet.
Yep.
I don't know. Those ants on the
tools,
stick
they have
pretty good with
language.
those chimpanzees.
Oh,
yeah,
I
not
know.
chimpanzees, honestly. But they actually did. There's actually a study they did out in Japan, like Hokkaido, Japan. And there's like the hot tub monkeys they have out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're cute little Japanese macaques, and oh my god, they're so funny. The scientists actually went on the beach of Hokkaido and dumped a whole bunch of sweet potatoes all over the beach, and the monkeys are all over it. And one of the monkeys, actually, like one of the mothers, actually in the troop, she figured out that if she took apart a piece of sweet potato and dipped it in the salt of the sea and then ate it, it tasted better. Next thing you know, they're all doing it. And not only that, they dump the sweet potatoes in different parts of the island that are not close to the sea. They instead of eating the potatoes right away, they saved the potatoes, dragged them over to the ocean, and then ate them over there.
That's amazing.
Oh,
I watch a lot of BBC nature shows, and I actually just watched those monkeys, the hot tub monkeys, like a program on them.
I know it's crazy how and primates, like our fellow primates along with humans, it's like how we see ourselves so much in our like second cousin twice removed or so.
Yeah.
I see humanity in everything. You know, I mean, you think about like, you know, we have cats at our house and stuff like that, and I see human behaviors in all of them and everything.
Yeah. I have 3 dogs, and they definitely think they're humans.
Yeah, they're evolving alongside us.
Yeah,
it's crazy because like I mean, honestly, there was a couple of reports in my neighborhood. I'm like 15 minutes out of Manhattan of black bears after the pandemic getting really, really close, like to humans, not to like eat people, but they were knocking on the doors of like a 24/7 like 7-Eleven and just waltzed right in, grabbed some snacks, and then went out. And the poor overnight worker, she's like has her phone in one hand and a broomstick in the other, screaming her head off. It's like, get out! Oh my god, what do I do with the bears? Like, what are you yelling at me for? I just came in here for some Takis.
How do
All
you
right.
give customer service to a bear?
How do you
Yeah.
get customer service to a bear? Exactly.
Keep smashing those hearts, chat. We're 10 minutes in. We have a few of the regular crowd in, so we might as well get started because this restreams anyway.
Mhm.
So let's start off with the disclaimer, and then I'll go into introductions.
All right, I guess that's my cue.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Mind Haven is a weekly podcast and roundtable discussion for mental health and the stories of people who live with it every day. We offer a safe space for discussing mental health topics and conditions from those with lived experience. We are not professionals. If you are in crisis, please do not DM any hosts or participants. Instead, you can call or text 988 or check the description at the below the video for resources if you need them. We're always happy to share links of our to help our community members any way we can.
Perfect.
So with that in mind, let's get started, shall we?
All right.
Hey.
Well, welcome to Mind Haven. Before we introduce the guest, I want to give a very warm welcome to Sylvia, our new co-host. Yeah. Yep. Nero is taking a hiatus. So that's okay. I hope they join us in the chat. So today we have, and then of course we have Tig. So we all know Tig, and I'm Sushi. Today we have Nick G on, and we're going to talk about how food can affect our mental health, whether we're eating very well or poorly, how that can change things. So without further ado, welcome, Nick.
Hey, what's going
Yay.
on?
Yay. All right, you can start the conversation.
Yeah, I'm Nick G. I'm a dude on the couch. I'm a dude on the couch because a lot of my personal attitude, a lot of my personal connectivity to people is different than most people. You know, I don't tribe, I don't boys team. You know what I mean? I really don't click up. I kind of find a couple people I vibe with and I stick with them, you know, and then let myself be myself. Um, I was married. I have kids. They divorces, breakups, you know, and all that stuff. But I've always felt like a disposable person. You know what I mean? And from kind of being a tumbleweed and landing on a couch, landing on somebody's space in 2018, I was homeless. You know what I mean? I was homeless. I was living in my car, and all I did was make a means so I could go eat, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. When I had conflict in my marriage, it was because she was vegan, and I had a girlfriend previous who was vegetarian, so like, you know, Seventh-day Adventist. So that was what got me into this new relationship. And then when we started having kids and started having money problems, and we're spending $13 on an 8-ounce jar of Vegenaise, whereas like I could spend that money on a big jar of Vegenaise or mayonnaise and get hot dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's full.
Yeah.
My marriage, if I had to sum up my marriage in one idea, it was watching the kids' plates to see what they'd leave because I was still hungry.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't that. I mean, I was working at UPS. I was making good money. It was just our food decisions were based on a principle, not on a matter of life. You know.
Sure.
Yeah.
I grew up in an Italian family. We ate.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But that was when I was living with my Italian family. When I was growing up, I lived with my mom. She was single. My dad wasn't really in the picture. And she was in her own brain space. Just as an adult, I see it now, her just trying to get through it. But we didn't eat growing up. You know what I'm saying? My mom's like I was telling y'all earlier in the chat, we didn't eat. My mom was a pharmacist. She was making crazy money. The money that I make now through like inflation and all that stuff, my mom was making that in like 81. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was good money. She had a house, a big house, to a point where my friends growing up would still look and marvel at the size of our house. If you know Glens Falls history, it was Wings Falls before it was Glens Falls. And that was actually the land, the farm that the judge owned was my house back And when they pieced it up, it was just this house on a property. But my mom was into her headspace, getting her life. We didn't eat. My grandparents bought us a big thing of like Kraft mac and cheese, like a box of it, a box of boxes, a carton of Kraft mac and cheese. And I shit you not, we ate that for like my entire childhood until
Yeah.
until I went to my grandparents' house to live, which is where my Italian family was,
Hmm.
and we ate.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I grew up in Northeast Ohio. We had a lot of Italian families, and yeah, they don't mess around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have a neighbor to before I came to the States. Oh,
Hmm.
they were Italian. Oh
Hmm.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I was living alone at that time and they would just send me food and food and food. Oh,
Hmm.
thank
Oh my god,
you.
that is the thing. It's like,
Oh my God. Living next to them was like the best decision. Having Italians around.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah, you'll
I
explode. They're gonna feed you until they explode. Until you explode.
but
And
that's
talking about that mental health, it was curious because I was going through like the worst depression state like ever,
Hmm.
and they knew that I was crying almost daily. And
Hmm.
I think that food is the love language when you are having a huge crisis. You know,
yeah.
Absolutely.
It
that was
always
like
is.
the best thing that they could ever do. Not words, not a hug, not anything. It was food.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because when you're depressed, like you don't want to cook, you don't want to do anything, like you don't
Exactly.
have
You
any
forget to eat.
energy
I
and you
was
forget
just
to.
gonna interject that too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
when I,
they
yeah, go
saved
ahead.
my
Sorry,
life.
Sylvia. Go ahead.
Sorry. No,
No, you're
they
good.
saved my life. And I mean, yeah. So food, we have to talk about that. It's,
Yes.
well,
yeah.
food
Yeah.
Oh,
brings everybody together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You
Yeah.
smell food from a distance, and you know we have a very societal thing now where we're separate. We have our own individual lives, our individual modes, but we don't have a means. You know, like you talking about food being the language of community. You know what I mean? You were
yeah.
feeling down, and they gave you food. Everybody eats. I if I was to write a campaign as a political actor. Now, mind you, I'm gonna cite James Carville. It's the economy, stupid. But when we say that, we always think about capital. That's
Hmm.
not what the economy is. The economy is what are you eating, where are you sleeping, and what are your babies being
How you doing?
maintained
That's
with.
what
You
it
know what
is.
I mean?
And a lot
Yeah.
of the metrics that go into like measuring like economic value, like that are not reflective of what we need. These what we actually need to gauge in the modern day. Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, especially when it comes to food, honestly, it's like how what you're eating and when. It's like cuisine is a fundamental part of community, like human
cool.
community. But the moment you either hear like some kind of any kind of restriction or any kind of like dietary means, oh, you have to eat this. This is what a good person eats. This is what a moral person eats. Oh, this is what a healthy person eats. The moment the aspect of control starts to be focused on food, who gets access to what food, and when and how much, or how that impacts their bodies, their physiology, or how that, which therefore makes them a good or bad person in a lot of ways, for a lot of people, that
Yeah.
it all just that just causes ripple effects. It's all just to disassemble any kind of community could have been built on that.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know
Absolutely.
that's actually so in the video game Fable 2. That's
Yes.
one of the things. Wait, when you eat celery, you lose weight. When you eat cheese, you start growing horns because it's indulgent and rich.
But wait, I love
Exactly, yeah.
cheese.
Cheese is, I know. Cheese, I love cheese, but cheese doesn't love me
That's
back.
it. That's the truth too.
I
Yeah.
know, and it's crazy because I wasn't always like that.
Yeah.
I'll go on that side tangent for another minute, but so honestly, this is a bit speaking on the mental health front. A little story, especially because you brought up your former partner Nick was vegan.
Yeah,
I kind of have a bit of a morbid horror story with this, because my thing when I was younger, I was whether I was either grounded in psych hospitals or not. When you're in psych hospitals for a substantial amount of time back to back, you start to see a lot of crazy things, and not just it's not just the staff; it's also a variety of different people.
Hmm.
And so I have a lot of hilarious stories with that. One woman named Carmen, she was hilarious, but honestly, one of the primary things I will ever remember is a lot of the young girls who were like my age at the time who were got locked up in the slammer for eating disorders. It
Mm,
was absolutely horrifying stuff, and
yeah.
because you also like what it comes down to is when you start losing your connection, your relationship with food becomes really really unhealthy. A
Hmm.
healthy relationship with food is always a wonderful thing,
Yeah.
but it's also an important part of your mental health as well, because if your relationship to food is something to be managed, something to be optimized, something to be critiqued or controlled or reduced,
Hmm.
the moment you start using that kind of going down that using that thought train and associating it with a coping mechanism for another aspect of your life, like how a lot of people use alcohol or drugs to self-medicate as a coping mechanism, that's an eating disorder right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whether it's anorexia or bulimia, whether you're like starving yourself or
Well,
yeah, or
you
covering
just
it.
jumped on exactly what was the issue with my kid's mom. You know what I
Mm.
mean? She was vegan because she was control. When I met her, she wasn't vegan in an education. My mom was educated, so and my brother had he had a you know allergies and all that stuff in the 80s. So she had like log books, those composition books of trial and error that she gave to my kid's mom. Here, learn how to be vegan, because my brother had such a strange diet. But
Yeah,
my kid's mom, she used diet as a means of control. Like you're saying, when I
Mm.
met her, she ate lettuce or she ate Tony's pizzas. That was her being a vegetarian. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
it's
And
very
I
very
had just like
common.
it was just so weird. And ice chips. That was her diet.
Yeah,
Um,
honestly, like that's just honestly that's a symptom of anemia. When you're
Yeah.
like,
yes,
yeah, when you're chasing like when you're craving chewing ice, that's a symptom of a larger health issue. That's really not good. And of
Right.
course, like there is such a thing as like having a variety of different foods, getting your nutrients, getting your daily fix from plant-based sources. That's all well and good. I mean, most of human history. I mean, most Italian food, like from the motherland, is like
Mediterranean
plant-based.
stuff. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, most people around the world don't eat meat in the same way that the Americans do. I mean, that's just
Right.
No.
that's a fact. But there is a kind of perversion of that need when that desire to be healthy becomes a bit of an obsession, a bit of a compulsion, or a need for control, or a substitute for something else that feels out in your life that's out of control. That gets really, really dangerous, really, really quickly. And what I saw in those girls, what I saw in those kids, actually, because it wasn't just girls, it was also a lot of young teenage guys too. No one deserves that.
Well,
Yeah.
No one.
there's a
That
lot
is,
of pressure.
I would not wish that kind of suffering on my worst enemy.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of pressure, even in boys. My son, he's 12 years old, and he's more round than he is tall, but he's gonna
Yeah.
grow taller. But
Sure.
right now, he's a stock. He talks like he's gonna be you know bulky his whole life.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is. It's awful when you equate these like these in it like on one hand like women are supposed to be, the ideal
Yeah.
woman is supposed to be stick thin and
Yeah. The
never age.
societal pressures.
And like
Yeah.
men, honestly, the same. It goes the same way, but
Hmm.
it's
Oh
like how
man.
that dehydrated, like steroid, veiny Arnold Schwarzenegger look. That's not healthy.
Oh,
No.
It's
I
not.
was going to a trainer, and he showed me who was the guy at the time. I don't remember. One of the guys, he was real like Conor McGregor. He was
Conor
ripped, and
McGregor.
they were showing off his body. And my cousin, the trainer, he showed me the picture, and he goes, "You see this? This is a raisin to the grape that he should be."
Yeah.
Because he was just so dehydrated and cut.
Yeah.
Pumping himself full of steroids, honestly. Conor
Yeah.
McGregor was a
Hey, speaking of that, it's a little off topic, but so when I was in high school, we had a kid. His name was Benjamin Ramirez, and he was just little scrawny. I think he was from Puerto Rico or something like that. I can't remember where his family was from, but so he was kind of thin and scrawny and trying to play football and be as good as the other guys on the team. And then he found steroids,
Oof.
and he took it to the extreme and just pumped up like super fast. Uh, but anyway, it was on Halloween night. They were doing a practice on the field, and he made a play with a tackle, and he never got back up. He had a heart attack from the steroids, And he was actually one of the first, especially at the young age in high school. I think I was like a junior or something like that. He was in my grade, but Sports Illustrated actually put him in the centerfold, a picture of him in his casket.
Wow.
He had his football uniform on. He's hugging a football. And so he was like the first death documented from steroids.
Dude, we
Well,
had a
it's
guy
gotta
who
be.
jumped in front of a train when I was in high school.
Oh, wow.
And,
Yeah.
and he was like the happiest dude ever. And
Yeah.
and the guy that was driving the train in his report says he just stood there and didn't move.
Yeah.
It screws with your hormones, the rage, the aggression. It's not.
Yeah.
It's also like there's also the crashes as well, the depression that comes from it as well.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh, Randy
honestly,
Eisenberg. Sorry. I don't think I've seen his name before. Welcome, Randy. Yeah, so let's get back to we just did a little
yeah, but it also like
digression,
folds. Yeah, but it also like folds into like how it is because like I mean, what
image.
draws people to use these kinds of substances? It's not just the look. It's not just to look a certain way. There's a sense of internalized shame that comes
Yeah.
with either like anabolic steroid use, whether you're in sports or in otherwise or in modeling or even like constantly smoking as we all know the horror story that was Judy Garland's upbringing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
just smoking cigarettes and
the
drinking
Judy
coffee.
Garland diet. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all horrifying stuff. But it's also like it also comes into question. Like it's not just the look, it's not just the appearance. It's also the internalized sense, how we personalize ourselves, how we view ourselves, like in that kind of expectation. So like how the internalized shame that comes from not being able to beat up to that or chasing it and feeling like you're always failing, or it also comes down to like how that needs to for control as well. It's like
Yep.
I mean, I guess the point I'm making here is sometimes what we have access to, the media that we're surrounded with, the people that we're surrounded with, the food and resources that we have at our disposal, it always kind of comes down to this idea that, oh, if you want to lose weight, then just eat less, stop gorging yourself, you pig.
No, that actually does not help.
But it's not that simple. It's never
No.
that simple.
It really isn't. But we don't talk about it, you know. We don't talk about the fact that our body is not contained at all. I mean,
it's an engine. Yeah.
just-
It's not
we're-
even just an engine. It's a massive series of engines. It's an ecosystem.
Yeah, we're chemicals. That's what we are. And when our chemicals don't have the right balance, then they don't have the right electric pulses. They don't make the right signals. But like I said, I was homeless for a year, and that was because it was better to be living in my car than living with the woman that I was living with. She was physically fit, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we'd watch wrestling and stuff, and she would have these mood swings. And I actually turned her on to wrestling, and all of a sudden she thought she was one of the Bella twins, and she'd go into the kitchen feeling good. Something would affect her brain, pew, and she would come back like a flying elbow, you know. And we would literally fight, but we were always hungry. You know what I'm saying? She had a chemical imbalance from childhood. You know, we grew up together, and her family was chemical people. You know, and I say chemical people, meaning you meet them and you're like, you are missing some plugs into that hole.
Yeah.
And But she was pretty, so she could play it off. You know what I mean? And she also was a voracious liar. Like you would be eating at the same table, the same food, and she'd be lying about what's on the plate. You know what I mean? It was just like that. But we were always hungry because she couldn't always get her meds. And this med didn't always work because, like I said, she was a liar. So when she'd go to her mental health people, she'd bullshit them. So they'd give her what she thought. And from taking a med, becoming a person, and not liking that person, getting off the med, getting on a new med, in that 5-year relationship, and like I said, she was extremely good looking, but there were times where I didn't want to be near her because it was like being around a dude. You know what I mean? And she was always aggressive, always wanted to fight. All of a sudden, she'd be yelling because she isn't getting sex, and I'd be like, I want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
it can be very, 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 very strong, like the highs and lows. And it's crazy because it's not always chemical. It also,
Yeah.
like, if you're constantly in a state of like hunger, if you're
yes,
constantly in a state of
yes,
hangry kind of
Mhm.
aggression,
yes.
combine that with all kinds of different imbalances, or also like combine that with a I mean, like,
Social
this
pressure.
is the
Mhm.
because David, your ready grandma in chat honestly mentioned this earlier because he's like vegan, but he's also like a seafoodarian kind of vegan.
Yeah.
You can still get all your
Pescatarian.
nutrients. Yeah, not a pescatarian like seafood and eat it. It's not a thing.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
joke. But you could still be like you can if you have like if you know your way around ingredients, if you know your way about what you need, what your body needs, and what how you get those and how you get those things into yourself, regardless of what source it comes from. It can come from meat or plants or whatever.
Right.
The moment you start restricting or tampering with that, or even like because sometimes like making like not vegan food vegan by default doesn't automatically make it healthy by
Yeah.
default.
You need your complete proteins no matter what.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
rice and beans.
Miso soup. Miso
Yeah,
soup is a favorite of
miso.
mine.
Love
Yeah,
miso.
yeah, miso's so good.
Quinoa.
Speaking of miso, I am obviously a huge sushi fan, but not just the like the rolls. Like I go for the big platter of sashimi.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a rock star after a big old platter of raw fish.
And that also goes into a larger section actually, because
Yeah,
Japanese food is very, very like multi-nutritional, very, very nutritious by default.
yeah,
The entire like roster of Japanese cuisine is incredible. I mean, that's
yeah,
honestly why it's like one of my favorite comfort foods. Always has been, always will
yeah.
be. And it's crazy because like you have this island nation in it's kind of is an archipelago. It's the middle of the Pacific, and it's huge one, but it's also the oldest established nation in human history. Like Japan has been Japan forever.
Right.
It was
It's
Nippon.
ancient, and it's crazy because like if you look at like the Japan's like restaurant scene or their cuisine scene, the last time I checked, the country of Japan has 87 Michelin star restaurants, 1 star or above across
Oh
the
well,
entire country.
yeah.
Guess how many Michelin star restaurants the United States has total?
How many?
0.
That's 5.
Oh, 5.
Possibly like give or take a few, but like possible, but like it's less than 10 in the entirety of the United States, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Because it's not just like the technique that goes into like making good food. It's also like your proximity and investment in getting access to really really good get really good ingredients. If you
Yeah.
invest in the ingredients and to actually improve the quality of it, it's easier to stay healthy in a place where the culture is invested in creating good quality ingredients above all
Yeah.
else.
But
absolutely.
they're all about
Yeah.
health too.
Yeah, and they're not even that big about it, honestly. I mean, like,
Well,
Japan
I
doesn't have
I
an
lived in
obesity epidemic because it's hard to become obese unless something's very, very wrong in Japan.
Um,
Yeah.
I,
I mean,
I,
most
I lived I lived in Japan, and like
Oh,
you wake up
nice.
in the morning and you would see them doing their stretches and doing their thing, and all that stuff, and then they'd start their day. Then at lunchtime they'd eat, they'd do their stretches again.
yeah,
Of course, I was on a military base, so I guess I
yeah,
saw
Okay.
that,
That's
yeah.
awesome
But even
though.
then, like the average person, like they're not going. Even like takeout is like even like takeout like in Japan, Japanese takeout in Japan is very, very different. It's still very fatty and oily and stuff like that. I mean, it's delicious. Chashu pork is beautiful.
Yeah.
But but most people they don't eat like takeout at restaurants all the time. I mean,
No.
the average Japanese person they will go to like a 7-Eleven, get a little takeaway box or something like that, or they'll just cook from home,
Yeah.
and that's remarkable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I
It's-
think the American culture has really shifted. You know, when I was growing up, we sat down as a family.
Yep.
You know, 3 meals a day, except for in the school year. Of course, we're at school for lunch, but we sat down for breakfast. Went to school, got home from school, did our chores, sat down to dinner as a family. In the summer, it was 3 meals a day, you know, and anymore, it's like, I don't know. I'm sure there's still families that do that, especially within the Mormon community. You know, I'm pretty sure they sit down as a family and eat. But for the
Yeah.
average American, you know,
Grab
oh,
and grab.
I mentioned Mormons because I'm in Utah, but
Utah.
you know,
I mean, even so, it's like it was something that was like it was a kind of a routine that was like for like an established like nuclear household at the time. I mean, but since for better or for worse, that household structure is no longer suiting the needs it once did. Because things change, and therefore, like living structures need to change alongside it. The problem is that when you rely on your sustenance to be around a singular style of living, then that leaves you very vulnerable to all sorts of horrible things.
Yeah.
It's not great to like put all your eggs in one basket for that exact reason, you know.
Yes.
Sure.
And it also like means that like cooking is not like it's not women's work. It
No.
never was.
No. No.
Well,
It is a
not
survival skill.
Yeah.
Cooking in my family, like I said, when I lived with my grandparents, my grand would start dinner. I was up there cutting things up. I was there. She'd do the actual cooking, you know what I mean? But because she was better at it, but I was cutting stuff up. I was peeling stuff. I was
Yeah.
very much a part of the effort.
Yeah, but even so, you were also in the military. I mean,
Yeah.
you have guys cooking for each other all the time.
And giving
That's
haircuts.
it was not just sitting down and eating the meal that was the routine. It's also like making it together was a big routine as well. And I think like a lot of people, especially younger people like myself, are reliant. Like I try to cook for myself as much as possible because I learned at a very young age. I taught myself, or just kind of me and my brain, but
Right.
but I think like cooking is a very important skill, not just for like life and survival, but also for health as well. I mean, if you're going
Yes.
to be vegan, you got to know your way around ingredients, and that means knowing how to prepare things in a way that brings the most nutrition out of it, regardless of what you're working with.
Well, you think about food, like in America, we don't just eat. We turn everything into an extreme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tacos were a poverty food. Lobster was a poverty food. Like they forced prisoners to eat lobster. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Spaghetti was a poverty food. It was a side dish.
Yeah.
You know, and I know myself. I could eat spaghetti 3 meals a day because that's just
Oh
I
hell
don't know
yeah! I
how I
love
roll.
pasta.
You know
But
that. Oh,
but
sorry.
they've
Go
turned
ahead.
so much of poverty food into expensive cuisine to a point where it's no longer thought of, beans and rice is even, you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
hype it up to a point where you can't just eat the beans and the rice. You have to eat certain stuff, certain ways, prepared certain ways from certain spaces,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy
Right.
because it's
So
also like it also kind of comes into Nick, that's what you want to
yeah,
go you.
Sylvia wanted to say something.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Well, you know that. Well, for those who didn't see me last week, I'm from Venezuela.
Ooh.
Mhm.
And I'm half Colombian as well. My husband is from Colombia, my dad. So it's very interesting because I was raised in Connecticut when I was a kid, and then I left, I came back, and now I when I see the food here in America,
Yeah.
oh my god, I'm
Yeah.
sorry to say, but I'm not used to this. Like I'm
Yeah.
used to fresh groceries, I'm used to fresh everything, and
Yeah.
now everything is like in plastic. Everything is
Mhm.
just
Processed and yeah.
processed, and I mean, I've been here for a year, and it's like, what the fuck is this? Like
Yeah, exactly.
and so the interesting part is that I've always wanted a farm, and we're about to buy a farm, and
Oh, that's awesome.
just to buy, to get fresh food.
Sure.
That's like one of the things that I look forward to, is like to have fresh food on my table. And then when I see like all the food that's getting prepared here, it's like, yeah, they send it from I don't know how many miles away, 100 miles away, and everything is like, it's not fresh.
No.
No.
It's not fresh, and it's not natural. And I cook every single day. I prepare my three meals a day.
Mhm.
We sit together
Oh,
every
awesome.
single day. Like
Yeah.
it's cultural, you know.
Yeah.
Here they it's we I don't see that much, that people don't have dinner together. They don't have
Yeah.
breakfast together. They don't have dinner together. That's, for me, that's extremely important for my culture, you know.
Yeah.
And it's so it's kind of strange, that eating habits here. And
Yeah.
I mean,
But eating also gives you a reset, gives you brings everybody to. Our kids are old enough now where they'll just cite girl dinner and then go off, But when they were younger, we'd sit at the table, we'd eat, we'd talk about their school, and all that stuff. And like I said, they're teens now, so they just kind of got to an age where they they got their own agenda, you know.
Sure.
What did
Yeah.
everybody learn today?
Yeah, that's what I do.
My dad, he's like, I don't care how old are you. We are always going to have dinner, lunch together all the time. And that's a lot in my household. And right currently with my husband, it's
Good.
always like, it's when you go to Latin America, that's like the most common thing to see.
But food
See?
brings people together, you know.
Exactly.
Exactly, and
right
it always isn't always
Yeah.
like in the standard way you'd expect. I mean, like I kind of live in my building. A few of the guys on my floor, we kind of have a barter system set up. So sometimes I'll help my neighbor out with something he needs technical wise, like how do you use this on your phone? Because he's a bit on the elderly side, and in exchange we'll kind of just like swap ingredients with each other. We'll swap food bank ingredients with each other. I was like, oh, I don't need this right now. You can have it. Hey, Tig, you using your eyes right now? Can I borrow some cheese? Like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
And so it's part of like fostering community. It's such a good way to like start that, even if it's not in the traditional way, like that household sense. It's always a good idea to just like network with your neighbors and
Yeah.
just be human around
eats.
other humans in the form of food. And that's
Hey,
always
I just want to say that Nero is now in the chat, so they are here with us. So.
Nero!
Hi, Nero. Sylvia, I was gonna say, it's been many years ago. I can't remember how long. It was like 2010, I think. But I went to Belize and Guatemala, and oh my gosh, I could have just stayed. I mean, the fresh seafood right there out of the Caribbean, and I had some conch ceviche that was
that's some good stuff.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And then I had to come back here.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like I think having to come back here is because like, oh well, your neighbor Sushi is a professional chef.
Yeah.
Everybody has a skill set that they can provide.
Yeah, and she just barely moved in. I think I have something coming up. I'm gonna just step out for a minute, and I'll be right back. Carry on the conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it.
You know, what I was thinking about though is who we are. You know what I mean? Our body's chemicals, you know, we're carbon based. We have, you know, the electric pulses that create our head, our attention, our eyesight. You know what I mean? That's chemicals that are acting and interacting. Even you know, our muscles have fluid to them. You know what I mean? They have a consistency. When we don't eat, we don't replace it, you know?
Yeah.
Like I was, you know, talking about before this, I went on a quick bike ride. You know, I rode 4 miles. I rode hungry because when I came home, I knew I was going to eat and I was going to feed the work that I just did, you know, and that's intentional eating, you know? Getting me to do something. I need a body double. Like I can have, you know, broken stuff that won't get fixed until I got someone sitting next to me. And I'm like, let's do it right now. You know what I mean? I need to have that body double next to me. Otherwise I'm literally just a dude on the couch, you know? and you know, food is that invitation. With me, myself, I hold nobody's grudge ever. But like when I'm hungry, I'm a bad person. You know what I mean? I don't mean like I'm going off and like punching babies, you know what I mean? But I'm a bad person in the sense that like I myself, I don't have the tolerance. I myself, I'm not in a clean way of thinking. I'm thinking I'm hungry. My body's tired. You know what I mean? My eyes are closing, you know, that kind of stuff. My tolerance for bullshit kind of, I'll even say that at the end of my workday. I'll look at my girlfriend, who thinks she's absolutely hilarious, by the way, and I'll look at her making jokes when I'm just home from work, and I'll be like, you're just not funny. I just don't want to hear about it. I just want to rest and eat and go to bed. You know what I mean? And then she'll laugh her ass off at herself again, and you know, I just have to cope. But I'm a completely different person when I don't eat. You know, eating with my kid when we're hanging out. I'm quick, I'm short. We eat. All of a sudden, I'm like, Paisan, let's go throw the football.
Oh my god, yeah. But it also like it's not just about what you eat or when you eat or who you eat with. It's also everybody needs like different quantities. I mean, food is not just fuel. It's not just culture. It's not just community. It's not just fuel either. And I think it's something like, if I can just optimize this in the same way I can optimize everything else. But no, food should not be a chore.
Yeah,
it's not something you have to manage. The moment you have to manage food, that's something that's a second sign that something is very, very wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Exactly that. It becomes a logistics problem. You know what I mean? Well, because I'm getting older. I'll be 49 this year. Because I'm getting older, I manage everybody like I'm an unk. You know what I mean? And I don't need to know you. I'll talk to people in the grocery store in line. You know what I mean? I mean just hey,
Likewise.
nice shirt. No, oh, wow, those shoes. You know,
Yeah.
that's just how I roll. But I don't actually. Now that I say that, and I brought it up, the grocery store, I have like an almost humble embarrassment about food. I will not
Yeah.
address somebody else's food. To me,
Oh,
that is
yeah.
such a core personal, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
just don't. If it's in the presence of community, then I'm like, hey, what do you think? If me and a
Yeah.
dude are talking about what we barbecue, I'm like, hey, what's your cue? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when it comes to being hungry and in the facilitation of maintaining food, it is such a private thing.
Mhm.
It's like standing next to a stranger and asking them who they're fucking. You know,
Yeah.
that's the way I feel about it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That private of a thing where, like, saying that, it's still a very community, very
Yeah.
shared experience,
Yeah. Because
but
even then,
only when you're giving it to everybody else.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. Sophie, go ahead.
talking about that, you know that I was a vegetarian for 11 years. I started being a vegetarian when I was 16. I've always been conscious with nature, but for me it wasn't about, health. For me it was about, like, if I love animals, why am I eating them,
Yeah.
So I started being a vegetarian, and then when I started to have more mental issues, well, because of my misdiagnosed, I've heard so many horrible things from people. Maybe you're like that because you don't eat well. Maybe you're
Mhm.
like that because you don't eat protein. Maybe blah
Mhm.
blah. I mean, the stomach is your second brain. I mean, of course I understand, but if you're a vegetarian, you have to investigate how to, um,
Properly
properly
Yeah.
nutritionized.
eat. And
Yeah.
I never get sick. I've always been extremely healthy.
Mhm.
um but like opinions of people talking about, yeah, probably you have bad mental health because you don't eat well. I mean, what? Like,
Yeah.
It's yeah.
don't have an opinion, like.
Well,
Yes.
Get.
and that's the stigma that, the general population, they want to blame mental health on, or
Everything.
disorders rather, like a chemical imbalance. They
Hmm.
want to blame it on anything.
Yeah.
Anything other than themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah,
Well,
and
you said,
honestly, and unfortunately, what we're seeing now is not new. It's something that's kind of resurged. It's a rebrand of an old thing from the Gilded Age, from the 1800s, like the early 1900s or so. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this history. But the guy who Henry Ford was a follower of some guy named Sylvester Graham. Sylvester Graham was a nutcase. Okay, he was the kind of one. He was the kind of like angry preacher who come to town and say salt, spice, flavor, fat, and joy in food will lead you to lustful thoughts and straight to
Ah,
strict
hell.
Puritan
He was a bit. He was basically he
yeah.
invented the graham cracker. Literally, that was
to
like a
stop people
cinder
from
block.
masturbating.
Yeah, but it wasn't just him. It was also another colleague of his, John Harvey Kellogg, whose brother actually was the one who invented cornflakes and started like Kellogg Foods, which we now know as like General Mills. Just despite John Harvey actually, just despite his brother, because like, well, this like flaked corn thing is great. Why don't I add some sugar in it so people will actually eat this stuff and we can sell it? He's like, no, that's like lustful thoughts. It's like, screw you, I'm gonna be a millionaire. And so
That's it.
Yeah.
that went down in history. But it's honestly that idea of like, oh, like a pure clean eating will fix everything that's wrong with the body. It's really not that case. It's not that simple.
It's not that
And
easy.
Henry Ford actually bullied his son to death with that, because his son actually died of stomach cancer. And he's like, oh, if you just eat properly, you won't die. If you eat properly, you won't die. And then he died. It's like, maybe I was too hard on the boy.
Right,
Like,
right. Hey, I want to mention too that the Mediterranean cuisine is a healthy one too. They have some really, really good food, and
oh yeah.
full of the right fats, and the olives and nuts and
Sure.
Yeah, it's also
yeah,
it's really just about balance, no matter where you get yourself from.
yeah,
Honestly, Sylvia mentioned something earlier. Is that like I mean, like being a vegetarian because you have that empathy for animals. I mean, I mean, my first love growing up was zoology. That was my gateway into like my hyperfixations on research across the board. I loved animals growing up, but I
Oh
also
yeah.
knew that I couldn't really survive being a vegetarian because like my autism thing is I have a no fruit policy aside from like 10 exceptions or so.
Yeah,
S-
I did not vegan, but vegetarianism post college, but I was extremely poor and I think I ate like Taco Bell bean burritos like every day.
Talk about being burritos, yeah.
But you know, it takes a bit of some change to do it
Yeah.
right, you know.
And it's also kind
So
of an acknowledgement that like sometimes like sometimes what we associate is like the healthiest thing for you is like, oh, fruits, veggies, and whole things are not always like the 100% we all think they are. I mean, I mean, I can't be within 3 feet of most fruits other than like my exceptions or so, like citrus, orange
mhm.
juice, not oranges, and starch based stuff like plantains, avocados, squash, and stuff like that. Anything other than that, I reach for a flamethrower and decontaminate the area.
Is it texture based? Is that based
No,
on
it's not the texture. I can't even get that far. It's the smell. It's horrific to me.
It's
It's
kind of like cilantro. You know, some people can't. I love
yeah.
cilantro. I'm like,
I
how
love
can you
so
not like cilantro?
because they have a oh, there's an interesting thing with that because it's a genetic
It tastes like soap.
yeah, some people have that genetic predisposition so they can't taste the bitter. It just tastes like soap,
Yeah.
or they just can't taste it at all. It's the same people like that can't taste tonic water. Essentially,
Hmm.
it's an interesting thing, but that's a whole other thing. But like my thing with like no fruit, it's like, well, my parents actually tortured me for years with this. Like they basically just tried to force it until I was 15. It was basically like psychological torture that I have the same visceral reaction with like most fruits as someone would be in proximity to a pile of tapeworms, blood, and shit.
wow?
Yeah, it's that extreme with me, and it's always been that way. But that's not something that you can really fix with exposure, you know, because
No.
it's not a phobia. It's just something it's just it's an autism thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just something I've
you
always
either have an
had.
epiphany that fixes it, or it's just
No,
no.
yeah, there's no fixing it. Just like, no, not doing it. But even so, it's like I'm still like I'm actually healthier than most people my age, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because while I do like do citrus, I'll do lemons, limes, so I'm not gonna die of scurvy anytime soon. I'll do but also it's because like my safe foods are my safe food, honestly, like my comfort food, brown rice, steamed white fish, some kind of light chicken, or some kind of like a little beef, or like a light seafood, and sauteed greens, spinach, or broccoli. That is like my comfort food, not the standard autism thing like
That's all
chicken nuggets and
healthy though.
fries. No, my comfort food is basically something you would find at a Chipotle. It's the
Yeah.
weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's also like
when I
Go
was
ahead, Nick.
eating vegetarian and stuff like that, what made it easy for me, and now I eat meat, you know, and I don't think twice about it. But it's like
Mhm.
I have a very conscious thing about it. I mean, there is no point where I'm cooking meat and I'm not thinking there isn't a house fire somewhere with somebody in it that they're at the perfect flavor. You know what I mean? And, it, and I
Jeez.
literally think that because what's the difference between the cow that I'm eating? You know what I'm saying? What's the
Right,
difference
right.
between the chicken I'm eating? At some point in being cooked, there's going to be that balance. Humans do that too. You know,
Mhm.
it's a conscious thing. But
yeah.
I like when I order from the Chinese food joint, I'm always getting like tofu instead of
Mhm.
other things. It's just kind
Yeah.
of I dig it. I prefer to eat
Yeah.
something that isn't taking life from something else.
Sure.
On
Sure.
the other hand, if I'm at the grocery store and there's already taken life,
Mhm.
I'd rather eat it than waste it. You know what
Right.
I mean? That way it's
Yeah.
not like proving a
Yeah.
point on principle, you know what I
Yeah.
Right.
mean? Because this oh, I call everything a person, didn't need to die in vain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I
And I'll
mean, that's
tell
kind
you
of
what, I love a good like mooing steak. You know,
oh,
like
like a nice
yeah,
medium rare steak. That's
Mascara
good.
oh
blue.
no, it has to be rare, purple in the middle.
Ooh.
Wow.
And somebody's like,
So
I
it's like
haven't
that.
I haven't eaten meat since I was 17.
Oh wow.
And
Well,
I'm
good for you.
35, so no.
Yeah.
No, you know that like 3 weeks ago I was with my husband and my friend, and then she ordered. I didn't know what brisket was. I thought,
No.
and but
oh,
yeah, and then I thought, I don't know, it was so dumb, but I thought it was because we were ordering like vegetarian things as well,
Mhm.
and I thought it was like a mushroom,
It can be.
Mm,
Those are like there's like vegan like brisket alternatives, like
Yeah.
vegan
no,
pulled pork,
but
like jackfruit or mushroom or enoki
but
mushrooms, but
I thought it was something like that. But when I ate, I was like, and I was in the restaurant. I was like, "Oh my god, what is this? No, this is brisket. What is brisket?"
what
And
is brisket?
Yeah.
I don't eat meat like whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, this is meat. This is an animal. And I went to the bathroom and I got sick.
Oh.
And I just started crying because I said I'm eating an animal, and it
Yeah.
was just, oh my god, my
Oh,
husband, he says
Oh my
it was
god.
horrible. No, I just
I
felt so
know, and I
bad.
think I think there's some kind of like, and there's no shame in that, honestly. I
yeah.
mean, everybody kind of has their like their no goes. Like, I mean, we all have our preferences, and we all have our things that like we would enjoy, and we all have our things we would reach for the flamethrower and decontaminate the area for.
Yes.
We all have our flamethrower no goes.
I can't eat organs. No liver,
No
no
chitlins.
heart. Huh?
I don't do chitlins.
Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
chitlins is a
There's a
tough
lot
one.
of Southern food that I just
Oh
no thank
yeah.
you.
My dad's family is from the back hills of Tennessee, but settled up in well, they were kind of all over the place. My grandfather was a miner and a construction worker. Anyhow, they ended up where I grew up, and boy, you go in and it's fried chicken and biscuits, and
Biscuit.
so good and too much
I
food. Like they always like
biscuit with sauce and gravy.
overcook, like feed an army.
Oh my god, yeah. It's like, what? Who are we feeding here? The Marines?
Yeah, and my
Oh
grandma
yeah,
would be like, "You want
yeah.
seconds? You want thirds?"
I was
Second and
just thinking
third.
about, talking about being vegetarian and eating meat. When
Yeah.
I was married for like 10 years. And when we split up, I ate vegan. When we split up, the first thing I did, I went to this place called it's New Way Lunch, but it's locally called Dirty John's Hot Dogs. I
Uh-huh.
went and I bought a dozen dogs. I ate them straight to my head. And I'm
Yeah.
not kidding when I tell you I got meat sick from my
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
Oh my
The
processing
meat
all
god.
gut. If your system is not used to it after a lot of time, it goes back to the cheese doesn't love me back kind of thing. It's
That's it.
there's certain like foods like a lot of people evolve to eat over time that if you don't use it, you lose it. Like we're not only ourselves, we're not only chemicals, we're not just all our own cells. We also have a little ecosystem inside us as well that
Yes.
helps us with things.
Absolutely.
I mean, somewhere along the way, in the Eurasian continent, around the same time that we started to domesticate like dairy animals, but prior to that, humans had a cutoff point for lactose intolerance, which was the age of 12. So milk was for babies. So like once you turn the age of 12, lactose intolerant, no dice. But
Yeah.
once we started domesticating like dairy animals like goats and cows and even like other like yaks and stuff like that in that area, there was a genetic mutation that happened in that area that allowed adults humans past the age of 12 years old to be able to maintain the enzyme needed to digest lactose without their gut bacteria getting involved.
Right.
So it was a natural enzyme that's like present in the gut in babies, but once you get to a certain age, it's no longer produced. But that mutation allowed us to maintain that enzyme, not produce more of it. So if you don't use it, you lose it, kind of thing. It's similar to how like that's kind of what happens with meat gut or the transition in between like veganism, vegetarianism. It's not something you can do a cheat day on.
No.
Right.
It's like something it can really like screw up your system because if you're not used to it or if you're used to it before and haven't had it in a while. I mean, I mean I had like I'm Dominican, right? So there's a lot of Eurasian, a lot of European ancestry, a lot of African ancestry, all mixed up in there. I'm Dominican ancestry with that, similar Latin America as a whole. So I never had a problem with lactose intolerant until I emancipated myself and didn't have access to like regular like dairy on a regular basis during that whole 7-year nomadic period. And now that I have like I'm stable and I have my housing and stuff like that, I'm trying milk. It's like, oh my god, I lost it. I lost the ability to digest it.
Yeah. I do like to keep my probiotics, my gut health very satisfied. I eat a lot of Greek yogurt. I do those little Yakult shots. I think that's how you pronounce
Ooh,
it.
I love those.
Yeah. And I've learned that if you especially like just the plain Greek yogurt and dump one of those into the yogurt, mix it up, and it's almost like a smoothie, but like a power probiotic, and it tastes like an orange Julius. It's delicious.
Man, Orange Julius. All right.
Yeah, you haven't heard that in a minute, huh?
No.
Have you ever had
I-
one?
Oh
Orange
yeah.
Julius? Yeah, they're so
Well,
good.
yeah, we had one at Crossgates Mall, and
Yep.
that you'd hit your Hot Topic,
Mhm.
and then Orange Julius was right next to it.
Yeah, but they put a
Oh.
lot of sugar in their stuff.
Yeah.
So much sugar. That's why
Yeah.
it's good.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Oh
Excellent.
my gosh,
Fat and
here
sugar makes
people
food taste
eat
good.
so much sugar. Like
Oh, I
here,
know.
it's I mean, it's incredible how much sugar there is right now. Even the sodas, you go, oh
Yep.
yeah, I want a large soda. In Latin America, a large soda for us is like humongous, and
Mhm.
here is like a normal
That's like a standard
normal
size.
size. It's like whatever. People actually drink this in one sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
When I was in Guatemala, I got some of their chocolate, and they just use pure sugar cane and mix it with the cacao
Yeah.
and make these patties. Oh my gosh, it
Mm.
was
Well,
so good.
in America, American chocolate isn't allowed to be called chocolate anymore. Same thing with
yeah.
our cheese. It isn't allowed. It's called dairy product.
Yeah,
It's not
Yeah.
cheese anymore. You know.
Like
Yeah.
swapping slowly to make it
Yeah.
cheaper and cheaper.
But I mean
also-
that's what we do with all of our stuff, and that comes back to the poverty food. You can't just make your rice and beans. You have to have all this extra stuff.
yeah,
Same thing with clothes. We can't just wear clothes. Like, as a matter of fact, I was hunting for sweatpants,
Mhm.
and I needed sweatpants because it's still chilly. I want to be active, and I couldn't just find plain old sweatpants. I kind of had a small tantrum to my girlfriend. I says, I want the pants that Danny Zuko was wearing in Greece. How hard is it to get some dang sweatpants? Like I went into Target, and everything's new fabrics, new
Yeah.
everything. It started off being made out of plastic to begin with. And
yeah. Go to your secondhand stores.
well, just getting simple things is no longer
Yeah.
simple, because simple
No, I know.
doesn't make enough money for somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and even thrift
yeah.
stores are getting jacked up in price because, like, with like either vintage or trend, it's
Yeah.
all kind of getting commodified until it's cannibalizing itself.
But
It's
hey,
it's cannibalizing itself.
But that's politics and everything too. Like, you think about it, and like I always got like a hang up about Sarah Longwell, because I feel like she wants to pigeonhole everything. I feel like that's her autism, where
Yeah.
she's just trying to categorize everything so it's clean and neat, like how when
Yeah.
little kids line up their Matchbox cars.
Yeah.
That's my interpretation of her. But everything is being given a genre. It's giving a nickname, giving a bucket. You know what I mean? You get spazzy people like me who like wrestling, who love house music, who love to eat, and you get three of us on a couch, and after you get past the wrestling, after you get past the house music, after you get past our full bellies, there's a billion things that makes us not the same. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm.
And there's no pigeonhole that's going to put everybody together in a bucket, unless you say biological entity.
Mhm.
The
That could
biological
be anything.
entity, folks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of intersectionality that comes with it. Like, there's only ultimately there's a level of fear and shame with interacting with different groups of people that we most likely will not have everything aligned perfectly with.
Right.
More likely than not, we're not always going to agree on things 100% of the time.
Sure.
And there is a level of like thinning of a level of puritanicalism, especially people my age. It's brutal. And I'm kind of a rare one, like unicorn among unicorns, specifically because I work so well with like older people or people older than me, simply because like I know like I have that experience, because you need to be able to build that community. It also needs to, like, diversity on its own is not enough.
Right.
It is it's expensive washing machine. Also, it's an expensive washing machine allegory I made on my note earlier.
Yeah.
But it's also about like having a variety in your diet. You can't survive on one single thing alone, no matter how nutritionally dense it is, because nobody can survive off Nutriloaf and Sylvester Graham original graham crackers. It may
Well, and
have all the things you
unfortunately,
need, but
and unfortunately, there's parts of the population that just can't afford to eat good.
yeah,
And
that is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. This has been. I hate to go, but it's the top of the hour, and while it's daylight, I still have some things to take care of out in the
Nice.
yard. I have 3 dogs. If you can imagine what my next task is. Anyway, This has been a great conversation, Nick, and would love to have you back sometime if you want to discuss another topic.
Heck yeah.
All
Anytime.
right.
Let me know.
And thank you, Sylvia. You did great as a co-host on your first show,
Woo!
not being a guest. Thank you for everyone in the chat for being here. And this will be posted again to share with your friends. So
Yes,
again,
like, share, subscribe.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for
Yeah.
Nice meeting you also.
Oh, hey, so Nick, I'm gonna when I end the stream, don't go anywhere. We like
Okay.
to do a little debrief
fun.
on the back end. So
Yeah.
all right. Much love, everyone.
Much
Eat
love.
well, eat well.
Eat well.
Food is
Feed those
life.
bellies.
Food is love.
Yes, it is. All right. We're ending the stream.